All right, today we're doing something that I think a lot of gardeners know they should do, but most of us don't. Soil testing. I'm actually doing this in Connecticut, Zone 7A at my dad's garden where I'm visiting for the weekend. It's still too cold to plant most things here, which actually makes it a great time to do things like this to set yourself up for success during the planting season. I actually tested my own soil last year before I had this channel, so I wanted to walk through the process again step by step because it's one of those things that sounds intimidating, but it's actually pretty simple once you do it. I'm using the University of Delaware soil testing program, which is open to both Delaware and non-Delaware residents. You just order the kit online, it's about $20 per sample, and they'll send you an envelope with everything you need, including sample bags, instructions, and the forms to fill out. And the reason this matters is because a soil test gives you a snapshot of what's actually going on beneath the surface. Things like pH, nutrient levels, and whether your soil is out of balance in any way. So instead of guessing, you can make decisions based on what your soil actually needs. It can also have broader environmental impact. A lot of the pollution in places like the Chesapeake Bay comes from excess nutrients, and some of that comes from lawn fertilizer being overused and washing into our waterways. So soil testing is a really simple way to make sure you're not adding more than your soil actually needs. To do this, you don't need much, a clean bucket and a trowel or shovel. I've got this bulb planter, which actually works really well because it lets you control the depth and width of the sample. And ideally, you want to make sure your tools are clean, especially free of things like fertilizer, because that can throw off your results. The most important idea here is that your sample should represent the area you're testing. So instead of digging one hole, you're going to take multiple small samples, usually 5 to 10, from across the entire space. So, for example, I'm going to test a couple of different areas of my dad's yard that have different conditions. His vegetable garden and another area where he's had kind of a tough time growing some fruit trees. These are two separate samples, but for each one, I'll take 5 to 10 subsamples. To take one of these samples, you just cut into the soil using your shovel or trowel. For lawns, you're typically sampling about 4 to 5 inches deep. And for garden beds, a little deeper, around 6 to 8 inches. And you want each sample to be about 2 inches wide. Then you're going to mix all these things together in that same bucket and fill the sample bag up to the dotted line. It's about 1/4 cup. Once you've got your sample, you package it up and fill out the form. The standard test looks at things like pH, nutrients, and overall soil fertility, and it gives you recommendations based on what you're growing. They'll send you a report, usually in about 10 days, with specific guidance on things like lime or fertilizer. And it's actually pretty actionable once you know how to read it. So I'm going to send this off, and when the results come back, I'll walk you through how to read it and how you can actually apply the results. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next video.